she talking to now? What is she up to next? Where in the world will she be?
Welcome to another exciting episode of Talk2SV. Talk2SV, brought to you by...
Who is she talking to now? What is she up to next? Where in the world will she be? Talk2SV. You just might.
Talk2SV covers entertainment and lifestyle, news, upcoming movies, and current events. Hello.
Hi, I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that,
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit savethefood.com.
I sat with the Honorable London Nicole Breed at a favorite San Francisco establishment of her choosing, Cafe International, in the city's Haight District. There, we discussed her career in community service and city government. Charming and fully engaged in the dialogue, Bree discussed her vision, accomplishments, and plans for San Francisco, including its challenges, opportunities, and international standing in the world.
I'm London Breed. I am running for mayor of San Francisco. Currently, I'm the president of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors.
London Breed, thank you for this conversation. I have watched you and your career. We are so honored and proud of you.
Thank you.
I'd like to just go back a little bit and have you give me an idea of when you fell in love with community service. When did that start for you?
Oh, it started really early. I don't know if I would say fall in love with it as much as felt responsible to get actively engaged, because had it not been for so many advocates, so many great programs that supported me when I was in high school, I wouldn't be here today. And so it was more of an obligation of feeling like I needed to give back because of what so many people did for me. So I graduated from high school. I went to UC Davis, got my undergraduate degree, and I have been working in the community ever since. I've even gotten my master's degree in public administration from USF while I've been serving in the community. So it's just something that naturally is a part of who I am.
All day, every day, busy people have a conversation going on in their head. What to do next? Why this? Why that?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the conversations that London has with London about being mayor or becoming mayor.
So I don't necessarily have conversations with myself. I'm talking to people all day, and I'm also, when I'm not talking to people, I'm getting my rest. So oftentimes it's just really talking to folks, but also in my mind, I know what I see San Francisco as. And I think about just even the 10 encampments and what I want to do to address those. I think about our education system and how I want to make sure there's real links between our young people and the healthcare industry and the tech industry and all the job opportunities that are being created right in their back door. So part of what I have conversations, I guess, with myself is, how are we going to be creative? How are we going to be bold in creating these new opportunities so that everyone feels like they're a part of it?
It's as if San Francisco is reinventing itself. Always known as an international world-class city, it is now the technology hub of the world. How do you maintain the image of San Francisco and keep it moving forward?
San Francisco is not just a place for technology and innovation. It's also one of the number one industries here is healthcare. There's also a number of city employment opportunities. So there are plenty of opportunities in a lot of industries here in the city. I think what we have to do as a city is make the connection to the people who are already here. Make sure the next generation of young people are prepared for tomorrow's opportunities in those particular industries. And so I put out an education platform that talks about making that particular connection, paid internships, making sure the companies here in San Francisco are accountable to our school system. It's not just about giving money, it's about giving back by providing the opportunities to young people. If it weren't for the public school system here, the Mayor's Youth Employment and Training Program, where I got my first job at age 14. I worked at a place called the Family School. The adults who were a part of the Family School supported me, nurtured me, encouraged me to go to college. All of that played a role in providing me with an opportunity to do something with my life.
I'm glad you mentioned your early start at 14 in the workforce. The workforce today is completely different, and you're still a young woman.
Thank you.
How do you define the ever-evolving workplace here in the Bay Area?
I think that, things have changed. When I was growing up, we didn't really have a lot of cell phones. We had pagers, we had payphones. We didn't have a lot of computers like we do now, and things have definitely changed. So as things change, it is important, again, that our kids, our young people, and even some of our seniors understand technology, understand what's out there, understand new ideas and how things are evolving, and that we continue to make the connections to support one another, to encourage one another, to understand those particular industries, and that we grow together, not leave anyone behind in the process of developing this new technology and all that we're doing in San Francisco. And again, I think the perfect way to do something like this is to make sure that these companies are engaged with our public school system. And I'm not just suggesting that you have a paid internship over the course of the summer. I'm looking for internship opportunities year-round, starting at 9th grade, where a 9th grader could work at a particular company and understand how this company is working, understand the innovation taking place in that company, and then they're working year-round in the 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, unless they decide, well, I want to look at another industry and see what it entails, and making that connection and allowing kids to, at an early age, get actively engaged in different industries could really help. It's something that we used to do in our public school system. Remember when there was auto shop? Remember when there was a connection between labor jobs, public safety jobs, and all of those things in our public school systems? We just got to get back to basics, except the difference is technology is moving so fast, and we got to make sure that our young people are prepared to keep up with that.
I love the passion you express about young people and preparing for their future.
Yeah.
You're also in an area that has a rich cultural tradition, multilingual, multi-generational. Where is the balance between that established tradition of culture and the new wave that's evolving?
It's been really hard because a lot of people love San Francisco because of its culture, because of its uniqueness in all of its communities, whether it's Japantown, Chinatown, the Mission, where there's a thriving Latino community, whether it's Little Italy and North Beach and other places. But then at the same time, there's been a lot of changes, and it has had a lot to do with, the increase in the number of employment opportunities, more specifically in the tech arena.
Talk2SV, brought to you by
Who is she talking to now? What is she up to next? Where in the world will she be? Talk to SV. You just might.
I say this to new dentists that we hire. Not a single day that I go home and I say to myself, what did I do today? Every day that we come in, it is very satisfying because we really render services to patients that really need it.
Lifelong has offered dental services for many years now, and we think that dental care is an important part of overall health. We have people with no health coverage, no dental coverage, and of course they need more if they're low income, and that's who Lifelong serves.
The dental program came into being because of the need from the community itself. There were some things that were taken that were manifested through medical, but there was also things that were needed for dental, and so with that, dental came into existence.
The number of uninsured persons in the U.S. that don't have any kind of dental insurance has been quoted to be close to about 100 million folks. So Lifelong is very important because when you don't have the income or you're low income or you're uninsured, this is like a beacon of light and help where you could go and receive that care.
Dental is definitely a gateway for a lot of people. I mean, the mouth is the gateway to the body. You see a lot of diseases that can manifest in the mouth. There's a link with oral health and diabetes, heart disease, those patients that are medically compromised. Once they start to get a healthier mouth, they feel better because it impacts everything. So their diabetes can get better, their heart disease gets better. It's all interconnected, and so being able to start with a smile and see how that affects the rest of their health is amazing.
We're part of an integrated approach in the healthcare. Right now we have at least 3 large clinics with another 3 satellite clinics. We have dental vans. We also are a teaching site for UCSF School of Dentistry. We're able to give this package services to our patients: oral health, physical health, social services. We work on the mouth, but we look at the entire body.
We really are trying to reach as many people as possible. We do believe that prevention is of the utmost importance. We're definitely trying to reach kids and really help them understand why it's important to brush their teeth, why it's important to eat the right foods, and how that affects our teeth.
We feel that the children are very much a priority because if we can catch them at a young age, they will soak up that knowledge. Everything that we're teaching them, just like a sponge, they're open to it.
There's a tremendous need for the dental program in the community. They're dealing with situations where lack of access, poor dental care, poor dental access, which leads to psychosocial issues around getting jobs, embarrassment, isolation. And so having a community that has dental services allows them to benefit from that. And if they're feeling good about their teeth, they can feel good about life. They can feel confident, they be able to engage with people, go for that job, and be very happy and improve their quality of life.
I got hit in the mouth with something and my teeth fell out in the front. You know, and I had difficulty getting jobs and basically I wasn't comfortable at all. Well, I got introduced to Lifelong and they've changed my life. I just got a brand new job. I might have not got some jobs because of my teeth and stuff, and I didn't want to smile or even really talk. I'm real grateful to Lifelong Medical. I feel better and I look better.
Everyone deserves access to care and to be treated like a person, and for me it starts with their smile and being able to give someone their smile back.
It certainly is going to take a village to build dental care for all of us. Our vision is that we could make sure not only do lifelong patients get dental care, but that everybody in our community who needs good dental care is able to get it. We'd like to get to that point here at Lifelong.
Between 2010 and 2015, for every 8 jobs we created in San Francisco, we only created 1 unit of housing. And so part of how we address some of the issues is making sure that as jobs grow, we not only prepare young people and people who are a part of San Francisco for those opportunities, we also have to continue to build more housing, address infrastructure needs, and do a lot of this stuff simultaneously and not just do one versus the other, because I think that's why we're experiencing some of the challenges that we have with housing in San Francisco today.
As you talk about San Francisco, people around the world love this city, and some still hope to live and move here. What do you say to the onlookers about coming this way?
Well, I will say, please visit us. Please stay in our hotels. Please visit our restaurants. Please come and support San Francisco. But again, I want to focus on making sure that there's a lot of folks here who need opportunities, who live in San Francisco. And I also want to be able to protect folks in their homes currently, whether they are renters or small property owners, trying to find a balance in order to protect the reasons why people love San Francisco in the first place will definitely be my priority.
This is quite a journey that you are on, and certainly it has shifted given the passing of our beloved Ed Lee and you having to step into that role. What have you learned about London Breed that is surprising?
Ooh, what have I learned about myself that's surprising? That meditation does work when you're trying to practice restraint.
Sure.
More so that it's not about me. If I want to accomplish a lot of the things that I want to accomplish for the people here, to change San Francisco for the better, it requires working with people, not letting yourself and your emotions get in the way of real progress, the ability to do something. And so I think that's really what I learned, not just during the course that I served as acting mayor, but even before that on the Board of Supervisors. So it is really, I mean, you represent a lot of people. And so sometimes you want to say what you want to say, or you want to do what you want to do, but you also have to think about, how is this going to impact the people that I'm here to serve? And then you have to make adjustments to address those kinds of issues, because it's not always about you. Sometimes there's decisions that, you know, I make not because, you know, I necessarily completely agree with them, but because I know it's something that might be important to my constituents. Like, for example, saving a bus stop in front of a business that wanted help and had provided reasons as to why, along with members of the community. We have definitely been trying to speed up Muni, but this is still a community. These small businesses are important. And so I have to think about, how is this going to impact those businesses? How is it going to impact the community, and make a better decision for them?
You have a local focus, which is wonderful. But I keep going back to the fact that this is an international, world-class city, one that is also very literate, and one that is also very interested in our future, climate change, all that we need to do to be more responsible. How do you weigh in on that?
So here's the thing. I have been a leader for Clean Power SF. After 12 years of infighting, my leadership helped deliver Clean Power SF for San Franciscans. And as you know, it is the single most important thing that we could do to combat climate change. I led the efforts to pass not only just the toughest styrofoam ban in the United States, but also our drug take-back legislation that I led the efforts for actually has kept tons of pharmaceuticals out of the bay and landfill. And I have been an environmental leader just in general in San Francisco, because we know that from an international perspective, those things are important not just for San Francisco, they're important for the United States and for the whole world, and what we do as a country to leave this place, a planet to leave this place better than we found it. And so leading on environmental issues and also taking care of San Franciscans, those things go hand in hand, making sure that we're addressing issues around our sanctuary city laws, that we're looking at long-term solutions for building housing and building housing faster for low, moderate, middle income residents. Oftentimes we talk about affordable housing, but many people make too much to qualify for affordable housing, but not enough to afford market rate. So we have to rethink how we're addressing housing issues, and I've been a leader on the Board of Supervisors to make changes so that we can include middle income residents in affordable housing. So just thinking differently about how the laws and how the money and how everything that we do here in San Francisco actually not only impacts people's lives in San Francisco, but how does it, how does it present to the rest of the country? How are we being a leader? How are we maintaining, what people know San Francisco for and love about San Francisco? How are we leading the effort to set the trend? And including safe injection sites, which I've been a leader on, something that has been very controversial that most people don't necessarily want to talk about. But the fact is, we have people who are addicted to drugs and sadly have challenges with those addictions. And the question is, do we want to continue to allow the needles to litter our streets and people to shoot up in our buses and in our playgrounds and on our streets? Or do we want to look at maybe a solution that we know is potentially working in places like Vancouver, Canada, which I had the fortunate opportunity to visit and discover that it has made not only a significant difference in terms of cleanup, but it's also helped to refer a large number of people to detox, which is amazing. Opening one site in San Francisco, we've demonstrated that you could save potentially $2.7 million a year in hospital visits and cleanup and social services. And last year, about 30% of San Franciscans supported the idea of a safe injection site. The San Francisco Chamber of Commerce, they did a poll that showed this year that 67% of San Franciscans actually support trying something like this. I know it's very controversial, but the whole point is we've got to do something because what we're doing now isn't working, and San Francisco needs bold, creative leadership to push the kinds of policies forward that are hopefully going to make a difference in our city.
I am encouraged to hear you say you observe beyond your own borders to learn what others are doing. Often we find leaders operating in a silo and they don't go beyond their own local area to see what else is working.
Yeah.
What is your formula for making sure that you have the right mix for this kind of city?
I think that the formula is you are open-minded, you're willing to work with people. I mean, I started a task force for safe injection sites to talk about its impacts, where it's working, what the data says, and bringing in not just folks who are for it, but people who are against it to have a real dialogue about the possibility of opening a site. So part of my formula is to try and work people, to bring people from both sides of the aisle together, to have a discussion, to get data, and to come up with solutions to our most challenging problems. I mean, that's really how you're effective in getting some of these issues resolved.
So you are Madam Negotiator?
Sometimes.
In that way, what do you think is important to everybody, no matter what their political bent is?
Yeah, so for me as a San Franciscan, and I look out on the streets and I see, for example, all the tent encampments, and for me, I really feel strongly that it's not that I don't want to see tent encampments, it's just that I know that it is a public health issue. There are no restroom facilities. There are sadly people who have addiction and mental health issues, and they need help. And so by allowing someone to either sleep on the streets or be housed in a tent on our streets and ignoring that does them and the citizens of this city a disservice. And so part of my solution is to really, within my first year of taking office, tackle that situation head on. And even during the short time that I served as acting mayor, I was out there on a weekly basis, talking to people, trying to understand the issues, offering alternatives, but also saying, look, we're going to clear out this area. We have an alternative. You either take this alternative or you won't have this same place to be. So we want to help you, but we're not going to allow this to continue to happen on our streets. It's not humane, and it's a public health issue.
I think what you're saying is so important, yes, to local residents, but also to commerce and big business. San Francisco is home to the Bay Area, home to professional sports teams. And we're talking big bucks. And they're concerned too about the environment, about the visitors that come in to support the sports team. So have you had conversations with the owners of the ball clubs?
Well, I've had conversations with a lot of people, and not necessarily with the owners of all the ball clubs per se, but just people who may work within these particular industries who are San Franciscans. And what you hear most from just people in general is, why are we spending so much money on homelessness, and why aren't we getting any results is because of it. Part of it is we have got to make sure that people know how we're spending the money. 2/3 goes to pay for subsidies to keep people housed, people who were formerly homeless, to keep them in housing. The other goes to social service programs. And the challenge is, where's the accountability? And also, what is our long-term strategic plan of action to not only help to get more people off the streets, but more importantly, to continue to work on the situation nonstop and to make sure that besides the homeless issue, what are we doing more around street behavior, mental health, and just some of the issues with people who are combative on our streets. I just think we need to take a stronger approach at addressing those issues. And sometimes that's controversial because my plans around mental health reform involve taking away someone's rights and providing them with a guardian to help make decisions for them because they can't necessarily make decisions for themselves. And I know that's controversial, but people are suffering from schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and a number of other things where they need a support system. They may not have family, and they do need someone to make a decision for them. And we have mental health stabilization beds we just opened. We need to open more at our hospital. So there's just so many more creative things we need to do. And again, controversial, but hopefully will effectively get the job done so that you can see the results outside on our streets. I want there to be a noticeable difference when I'm mayor, where you don't see the tents on the streets. You don't see the broken glass from the cars that are being broken in. Like, as a mayor, it's your responsibility to make sure that all of the money that you're spending for the police department, for the social service agencies, for all the things that we do are working for the people in San Francisco in a way that's effective.
I think that's a wonderful way to end this conversation, but I look forward to talking to you a year from now and hearing those things that you proclaim come to fruition.
Me too. I'm looking forward to the day. That's my vision for San Francisco, is to change it with a number of bold and creative solutions that will help deliver the results that San Franciscans want to see.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's the people. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi and transgender and Native American, and proud of it. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? Because love has no labels.
Talk2SV, brought to you by
Who is she talking to now? What is she up to next? Where in the world will she be? Talk2SV. You just might be inspired.